Welcome to Horrid Wizard and Friends, the podcast for misinformation, disinformation, counter-information, and lies.
And
The
that is the truth.
yes, the reason I say that is because actually, hang on, let me just go into incognito mode because just in case they're watching us. This is an interesting effect because can you see now my Zoom screen reflected in these?
I can see the screen reflected in your shades, multicolored reflection. Very 80s, I must say.
Yeah, so basically the reason I say this is because what started happening now over the past week, and there's a disclaimer here because I watch a range of entertainment channels, shall we say, on YouTube that serve my interest. One of them is like just a guy talking about watches, for example, yeah. And he inspired me today because he posted up saying, look, yeah, it's not that I don't give a shit about war and people dying and stuff, but I am a watch channel. What do you expect me to do? And so he just said, look, everybody's going to care in their own way. If you watch me for some escapism because you like watches, just be assured that I'm just going to talk about watches. This is the last I'm going to say about it. And then he carried on. And the other reason I say that is because I started getting the text messages and the WhatsApps through. The slightly conspiratorial ones where people think that they know a little bit too much about global geopolitics and start finding alternative facts and finding inside tracks that maybe all the journalists in the world haven't sort of got hold of. So I decided, Babar, a lot of words today, yeah. At the start. Okay, then fuck you, Babar. But anyway, look, it is all about me. It's my name that you'll see here on the text, and I'll put you as a footnote if you like. So yeah.
You can't carry on. I'll let you finish. You finish.
Yeah. My point I was going to make
because I actually really give a fuck.
Wait until people find out you haven't got anything in that mug. Okay, wait. The reason I said all this is because I've decided I want to live in a dictatorship. I don't actually want to hear two sides of any argument ever. I would like to hear one side that satisfies me, makes me feel really comfortable, and makes me think that, wherever I am, that's the place that's doing the good stuff. And then I want to go to sleep. So anyway, right, taking incognito mode off. Welcome to the show, Barbara. Anything to say?
Oh, I don't know. I had to respond to that lovely introduction. That was just amazing. That was literally like watching Newsnight or some of the clips that you've been sending me all week. I don't know how to kind of
Newsnight, but hosted by a prick.
Yeah, this is it. A very sharp prick as well.
That's a good tagline. I'm going to write that down. Newsnight, but hosted by a prick. Okay, right.
So, how has your week been since our last show?
My week's been good. We've had the second week. So last week I launched Afghan Fairy Tales. It's a quiet launch, soft launch, should we say? Like Truth Social was a soft launch.
Yeah. Beta version, yeah. So you're going to beta testing.
Beta testing. So me and a good friend of ours that you know are working through a book of fairy tales, and I'm just reading them out, and he's translating them into Pashto, the language of Afghanistan and North Pakistan. So I'm going to put a link in the description if anyone's interested in that. It's strangely funnier than you'd expect, actually. And whenever I'm laughing at it, I always think to myself, am I racist? And then, it leads to a good internal discussion.
Don't answer that question for you. But I do like your the screen, the card that you put.
The thumbnail. Yeah. It's just some free shit from Canva. You know how these things go.
Definitely. Very nice, very arty-farty.
Thank you very much.
Thought, you're quite creative. Oh, the bollocks, really. You should have just asked me to do something for you. Now, what's wrong with you, man?
I think I'm the only person left now in your circle that doesn't ask you to do something for them every single week or possibly even every day. So yeah, Yeah, what's new for you? Did you go on your stupid little neighborhood walk today with
Yeah,
your?
just come back. Been fucking raining, so I came back with drenched, absolutely drenched. Smashed my trainers in a puddle, so I had wet socks throughout the whole journey.
And
Spoke about.
what was your busybodying like? Describe how you interfered with people today.
So today there wasn't much going on because it's raining out, but yeah, we just looked at how much money people have spent on their properties and
Yeah.
what the valuation of our properties would be like, because that's what we care about.
And were Mavis, Ethel, Tamika, and Jagdeep all happy?
Yeah, very happy because we also agreed that our presence is making our properties rise in value.
Interesting. And do you ever like, just hold hands with somebody as you walk along on the neighborhood walk?
No, no, no. We do tend to not touch anybody. Just
Okay, that
keep our
sounds like some explicit guidance was given at the start of this endeavor.
Yeah, I went through some proper formal training. You know how it goes.
Yeah. Just like we've been through Ofcom training and media training and everything in order
Yeah,
to
we
be.
have, and that was yeah, we have been through that, and it was very thorough, may I add.
Yeah, that's why everything we say is so appropriate.
Yeah, we're very well trained, well versed in what can and can't be said on air.
But today was World Book Day in schools, Babar, or as I like to
Yeah,
call it,
yeah.
people who sadly haven't read a book in their life but have watched Marvel and Disney films Day.
Oh, to be honest with you, my niece dressed up as Hermione. Now I don't know who Hermione is.
Yeah, the only exception to the book thing is the Harry Potter, like that is the book. But I suspect that a lot of the people who dress up as Harry Potter characters only do so because they've watched the films. And then you have the old standard Hulks, Iron Mans, and the girls up Belle and whatever.
So my niece went dressed as Hermione, wearing this very long, modest gown that had a tie and everything already printed on it, like a Hogwarts tie already printed on it, and he had a hood because she was a wizard.
Okay,
and my dad,
I would say sinister rather than modest as a description, but anyway, go on.
Oh no, let me. You don't know where I'm going with this.
Okay, go on.
So my dad saw this, and he thought the tie was part of her uniform, so it was an actual tie, but it was printed on this again, and he thought it was a modest dress in a certain culture, and he went, oh, I like this. This is very nice. You should wear this every day. And we all just laughed and said, this is just for World Book Day. So it doesn't matter. It can be World Book Day every day. It's very nice.
It can be World Book Day every day should be the new slogan of World Book Day. Or you know what the new slogan of I'll tell you what the new slogan of World Book Day should be.
I may have exaggerated a little bit, but never mind.
No, that's all right. The new slogan of World Book Day should be dress as a flipping book character. Or
absolutely.
Or just come in your school. Yeah, or just come in your school uniform. I wouldn't say don't dress it. I wouldn't say don't dress at all to the kids, Barbara. I wouldn't say that at all. No. Yeah, that's what I wouldn't say to the children.
Okay.
You know what? We haven't had such a nice awkward silence so far.
That was very nice. That was very nice. I think it's good training there. So, anything new to talk about today?
I have got something on the subject of kids. My daughter so she very rarely is should we say out of our sight, in the sense that we are quite careful with her. So, for example, in the supermarket, we don't just randomly let her wander down aisles and such. So,
are you the type of parent that when she was young bought her the shoes that squeak wherever she walked?
No, but we always had line of sight. So that's the policy, line of sight. You have to be able to see and be within grabbing distance of the child. Again, not a good sentence to be taken out of context. So I might, when I upload this and it says, can people use snippets? I might just, press no on this episode. But anyway, yeah. So very
British celebrities from the 80s show today, haven't we?
Yeah. So she, so it's a very rare occasion when she goes for a sleepover, and this happened on the weekend. And she said, right, I'm not sure how I feel about this, so I'm going to text you at about 9 o'clock, and there's going to be a code. I said, okay, right. So she said, at 9 o'clock, you text me saying, how are things going? And I will text back with an emoji. If the emoji is a smiling emoji, then that means I do want to stay. Don't come and pick me up. So then I jumped the gun because, you know, I love interrupting and just being rude generally and speaking more than everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
No,
I said, okay, so does
true.
that mean that when you send me a frowning emoji or a sad emoji, it means I should come and get you? She goes, no. When I send any other emoji, come and get me.
So you know what? I really
Wow.
think she has a future in the Secret Services.
And I thought, wow, yeah. So even if I get like a jellyfish or something obscure, I will know this triggers code red. We must go and
Absolutely,
get
because
her.
even if she is caught by the people she's with, they won't know what the other emojis mean. That's very clever. This is amazing code
I was
language.
genuinely impressed with that.
Reminds me of a time when somebody else I know was using emojis and other words for code texting language and tried to be very clever with that. But that's another story.
There is another story that I've now forgotten. So so now what's happened is you've gone so deep into our self-referencing that we do on this show that even I now can't understand what the hell you're on about.
This is like when you text me jokes only that I will get.
Oh, the worst was I sometimes text you a joke, the start of a joke that I've made up.
Yeah.
And then I think when you respond saying, oh, I can't work it out, I'll send you the punchline. And once this happened, and I went to sleep and I couldn't remember the punchline myself.
But the thing is, I can often guess what the punchline is because we actually live in each other's pants.
Yeah, in fact, you found some images.
Let's not go there.
From the chat thread. Images. That I shall we say provocative images you'd found.
Yeah, definitely.
Basically, let's just say neither of us can have a political career in future.
No, absolutely. This is, you know, I often thought about that, you know, especially before starting this show. I thought, what if any one of us ever gets into a position of influence and power, and we are, you know, probably running heads of states or ruling countries, or going through an election.
Right. Okay. I mean, this is very far-fetched so far. I'm struggling to keep up.
No. You never know. You never know. Yeah. And
I
mean, Ronald Reagan became president of the United States, and you know what his history was like.
In current affairs, President Zelensky was literally a comedian and celebrity, like, you know,
so there you go.
A reality TV star. Yeah. So it can happen.
It can happen. So I'm expecting you in the future to be FaceTiming me from the war-torn streets of your country.
Okay, thanks. Great. So everything's going well then in that hypothetical.
It's probably because you didn't listen to them at the United Nations conference and you just spoke a lot. So that's probably why they said, you know what? Let's attack.
There's no chance the translator is going to be able to keep up with this guy over here.
For fuck's sake, man. What fucking shorthand. Can't even write that. So I often thought about that, you know, do we be very careful on what we say? What if I try, you know, for a high profile position, will it affect my career prospects or my life in any way? But then I thought exactly what you thought. Highly likely it's going to happen. Fuck it, let's just say it.
Yeah, and also I think the best policy is to be yourself, and if that's not good enough, then so be it. At least you have maintained a certain level of authenticity, because ultimately, if you're not fundamentally a bad person, then making the odd mistake is fine. And, you know, generally speaking, your output won't be massively offensive to everybody. And I think
just be yourself, offend everybody as you got to be yourself. And then you're okay because everyone knows that's what you like. So it's fine. Carry on. Anyway, fancy buying a football club.
Oh, yeah, there's one for sale, isn't there? Now, you see, the problem with the football club for sale is that it's not like, you know, when you get some businesses that go into administration and then they have various debts and commitments that they can't fulfill. And so they go on sale and some other tycoon buys them for a token sum like £1 or £10 or something. That's or you could do a leverage deal. Like, you know, do you remember when the Glazers bought Man United and they bought it with debt that they'd borrowed from a bank? This is actually the truth. Yeah. And then they then subsequently loaded that debt onto the club once they bought it. So it was like they just bought a club using magic beans. though the problem is with his Chelsea for sale. That's what we're talking about today. It sounds like he wants about £2 billion pounds for it. So, like, you know, he's not giving a discount.
He wants 2 billion because there's a loan to the company to the club about for 1.5 billion, which he said he'll write off or something like that.
I think what he said is that
let's just put this into perspective.
Yeah,
he's selling it for 2 billion, which we know is a hell of a lot of money, because you
Yes.
keep telling me it's a lot of money. I don't know if it is, because I've never had that much money.
Babar, if you even had a percentage of that money, you wouldn't be doing this right now with me.
No, I would be very loyal to you.
I think you would be in an exquisite parlor, and there'd just be like a tailor knitting some kind of special thing, a garment for you, you know, and or there'd be a craftsman sharpening some kind of I don't know, special pointy stick for you. Or I don't know, you like bespoke things, you like tailored things. You know, you like watchmakers who make one-off watch pieces and things like this. This is what kind of person
it's something I share in common with you, because of late, you know, we'll get back to Chelsea in a minute, but of late we've been sharing and exchanging various messages of unique timepieces, may I say. And it gave me an idea in the middle of the night where I thought maybe we should do a podcast or a video cast of, and call it the anal podcast. Now,
right? Okay, yeah. Is that because we love each other's bums? Is that why?
Yeah, maybe. But it could also mean that we just discuss things that are exquisite and have heritage, and people who have made these things take a lot of time and are a little bit obsessive over their construction. So hence the word anal. But I like the way you were going. That's also another podcast. Oh dear, we both had a notification at the same time.
No, I didn't have one actually, because my phone is professionally on silent.
So that was just with me one moment while I just
did you need to take that?
Yeah, sorry, I'm on a show.
This reminds me, there's a clip of it's in Arabic. It's of this Middle Eastern TV show, and there's this big sheikh on there, and at one stage he gets a call through on his mobile, and he says, "Oh, so sorry about this," and he takes it out, and he goes, "It is my mother. I must answer this call." And then like loads of this humming and crying goes on the video, and the video fades out with some words like "You're all much worse to your mothers than this amazing sheikh." That's pretty much the essence of that video.
There was a time when Michael Heseltine got a phone call live on Newsnight, and I found that really hilarious, because I actually like Michael Heseltine, and I think I texted you straight away. I said Michael Heseltine just had a call live on air.
He had good hair for an old man, because I don't think even now I could sweep it in that way that he used to do. But yeah, what was last week?
So going back to
go on.
Yeah, go on. No. You go.
No, you see, I'm looking at my show notes here, which, as you know, we never get around to, because it still says heraldic symbols, a beginner's guide to heraldry over here, which we didn't do. And
we can do that today.
It reminds me of a radio show we used to do a long time ago, in which I always said I was going to tell a story about a Syrian cassette tape, and then I never did. And then we actually stopped doing the show completely, and I didn't end up telling it. So maybe we can start that up here as well. But yeah, I was going to say that because of all the incidents that suddenly happened last Thursday, we couldn't deal with a lot of things that I wanted to talk about. But one of them was just a rant against the people of Ironbridge in the Midlands. But I'll maybe save that for. Well, actually, hang on. I'm not going to save it. There's a reason why I wanted to go on a rant against the people of Ironbridge, and it's because they had some very bad flooding, which was sad for them. And I started to feel sympathy about the flooding, and then I thought, what if the flooding is from God? And that's because I think it's a blight upon the people of Ironbridge. I think it is God smiting the people of Ironbridge, because a few years ago when I went to the Ironbridge Museum, they were unironically selling gollywog dolls in the museum. Yes, and it was like, I'm telling you, it was after 2010. So
what year are we in? I mean, you know, when did that stop being a thing?
It stopped being a thing, I would say, well
the day
before
it started.
that. Yeah,
The day it started.
That's when it should have stopped being a thing.
That is the correct answer.
So for their racism, I want the people of Ironbridge to perish.
You said a prayer or two, did you, when you saw that?
No, I just think it happens automatically. I think there's certain things you get up to, and then God smites you. Isn't that how it works? I can't remember.
Yeah. I think he's he sees everything. I think really.
Yeah, he tends to have a good handle on stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, the racism of Ironbridge is being punished by mild flooding.
So on the going back to the Chelsea thing, on the same theme of that. So a lot of buyers queuing up for this club, aren't there? I mean, Amanda Staveley, sorry, is really, really eyeing it up.
Yeah, the Saudis. So the Saudis are like, I think somebody said something.
Shit, we bought the wrong club.
Hang on a minute.
If you had waited. Okay, go on. Incognito.
Now we can speak plainly, my friend. The funniest thing about Google, when they advertise the benefits of Incognito Mode, it's always like, oh, do you want to buy your wife a gift and don't want her to know? And really, I mean, it's very disingenuous, because what they really mean is, here's how you knock one out when your wife's sort of just about got the car off the drive, isn't it? That's what they really mean. Let's speak plainly here, because after all, we are in Incognito Mode. So yeah, what were you saying about Amanda Staveley? Yeah, the Saudis, apparently, I mean, the Saudis very quickly after buying Newcastle realized it was a shithole. And because, I mean, the Dudley of the North, I like to call it. And I think they genuinely thought, because obviously these rich people, they get others to do stuff for them. I think they genuinely thought that Newcastle was a good place because it was in the UK. Obviously, we know it's not. So there was actual shock as to what they had bought, what they'd got themselves into. And after
it's like buying an iPhone 13 and then about 2 months later they announced an iPhone 13s is about to be launched. That's what it's like.
Yeah, and they'd already sort of offered like 3 or 4 billion for United, and obviously they weren't going to get Man United. And then they tried to do stuff. So now that Chelsea's for sale, Saudis. The funniest thing I heard was Saudis actually said that, I think the representatives of the interested party actually said something like, "Well, Saudi is never going to suffer from the issues and sanctions that Russia is suffering." Which
very confident guy, isn't it?
Very confident guys, man. Because if you compare the regimes, there are similarities.
Yeah. So talking about regimes, here's my first would you rather.
Oh, okay, good. All right, let me just go. Let's put normal browser tab. All right, go on then.
Yeah. Put your tissues away. Would you rather? It's a very, very tedious link, but I think it's quite clever.
Okay.
It will make one of our viewers very happy. Would you rather Sylvester Stallone circa Rambo 3? Now, remember, Rambo 3.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Or
Rambo
would you rather...
Sorry, is Rambo 3 the Afghan one? No.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Okay,
it is
all right. It's the only one I remember.
Or would you rather Sylvester Stallone circa Rocky 4 versus Ivan Drago? Now, there's a Russian connection here.
Can I choose Rocky 5 again, which was against Tommy Gunn?
The shittest Rocky ever made. However,
I'll tell you
why.
In
America.
I'll tell you why, because I was very little when I saw that film. I probably was too young to actually see it at the time. And I just remember him fist fighting with fingerless gloves. Is it in the street or maybe
it's a street fight, because you don't fight Balboa in the street. He is a street fighter.
Yes. And I was very impressed with that. And I went around wearing woolen fingerless gloves that my aunt had, and pretending that I was Rocky, which is really very sad. And I wish I hadn't said that now. Maybe I'll edit this out.
More like Rocky and Bullwinkle rather than Rocky Balboa.
They were fantastic people. Okay, Rocky and Bullwinkle. I won't hear anything bad said about them.
Woolen fingerless gloves.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you, a super grand or something?
I'm the defeater.
Must keep my knuckles warm, but I need my fingertips.
Yeah, I'm the defeater of Tommy Gunn. Okay, that's what I am.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Oh dear me, that's too funny.
I also thought I was so little. I also thought it was Rocky V for quite a while, and it's like I had some relatives who thought that it was Grand Theft Auto IV, and I had to tell them it was Grand Theft Auto 4.
So I made a mistake like that once, yeah. So back in the day, I never used to be a foot. I wasn't really much of a footballer until later on in my life. So I started playing football after around uni when I was at uni.
It sounds like a confession.
And yeah, a bit of a confession, but I turned out to be a really good footballer in the end. But there was like a pre-season tournament going on, and one of the lads was like, "Oh, any football on so we could watch after the game?" And I went, "Yeah, there's the Emirates Cup and 1860 Munich are playing." And he went,
Oh
1860
dear.
Munich.
Yeah, we have a friend who once said the UEFA Cup instead of UEFA. So these things do happen, and obviously, if you only ever seen something written down, then these things can happen indeed.
So would you rather Rocky or Rambo? Rambo 3 or Rocky 4?
For fingerless reasons, it's going to have to be Rocky.
Okay, yeah, great. I chose.
Is the Rambo the one where he gets shot through his body, then puts some kind of I don't know, a piece of cloth or a stick through the hole and burns it
just to stop it from bleeding,
just to cauterize the wound? Is that what he is that
I'm
the
not
one?
I can't really remember. All I remember there's a Russian connection here, you see. I don't know if you got the link.
I just want to take this opportunity to say that was fucking ridiculous watching that, and I knew it at the time and I still enjoyed it.
Well, I watched the most recent Rambo and it was fucking ridiculous as well, because the guy had been shot like 100 times and he was still walking. I don't get it. And he stabbed somebody in the heart and took his heart out.
I think in real life, Stallone has had so much human growth hormone that he can be shot several times and still be walking. I mean, he should be dead now. He's older than my dad. So,
He's a good-looking bloke, and I won't say who. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So I've got another one.
Go on.
For today. So would you rather say people of Iran and hope nobody but the vice president noticed and map the correct country, and should have said people of Ukraine? Have you seen that? You know what I'm talking about?
Are you talking about Sleepy Joe? You're talking about the guy.
Sleepy Joe Biden.
You know how Prince Charles is just waiting for the Queen to crock it, yeah? And he's like almost just waiting with a pillow almost to just do her in. I mean, Kamala Harris must be in the same position, man. She must be like, oh, is he not dead? Every morning, she must just have a person employed to tell her whether he's dead or not.
So every morning, she goes back to the show where we spoke about his little medicine containers, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Don't go back to that.
Puts a cyanide capsule on Friday, hoping by Saturday he's not. So she's already got the press release ready for Sunday.
She doesn't need any capsules, man. She just needs the passage of time, the short passage of time. And for some reason, it's just not happening. I mean, has time stopped? Why isn't this guy dead yet?
How could you fuck up such a thing, man? I just don't understand. Is this guy not awake in his meetings? Maybe not. Is the answer.
No, there are a lot of clips of him actually falling asleep. But then again, there's clips of Boris Johnson falling asleep as well. But sorry, okay, so what was the question? What were my options?
Would you rather say people of Iran and hope nobody but your vice president noticed and mouth the correct one?
Okay.
Or would you rather say people of Ukraine
and get it right first time?
And get it right first time, yeah. What would you rather do?
Well, I mean,
this guy's probably
like many of your choices. You just asked me if I'd like to be wrong or right.
Yeah, absolutely. No, because this is free. We all have free will, and you need to face the circumstances of your decision.
This is a really, really intelligent question. I'll tell you why. It's such an intelligent question, because as a world leader, what's more important, to tell the objective truth straight away first time and have people say you're very boring and bland, or to subvert the truth and then kind of roll back and say that maybe it was the people listening that weren't listening carefully enough, and then possibly even creating two versions of the truth. So on that basis, thinking like a real leader, I'm going to say, I'll get it wrong. I'm going to say Iran.
Correct answer. I would say that as well.
Did you just say choretic, as in to rhyme with diuretic?
No, I was just stuttering my words. What's wrong with
Sorry, I'll never let it slide.
I know you.
But just for quality control purposes, I need to ask you if you did actually formulate these would you rather questions whilst taking a shit, because I refuse to answer ones that have been formulated on any other throne.
I knew this question would come up today, and unfortunately, I haven't had a shit today.
Oh, that's very unusual.
Yeah, so unfortunately, at some point this evening, I will be
That could cause a
having one.
disturbance in the force because you are like more regular than a train.
Yeah. So it's just because there's a reason why, and that's because somebody in my office sits in the office with his door wide open, which is right next to the toilet, and I can't really go
Okay.
to the toilet.
Yeah, that is a problem. That is a problem. Have you ever, as in,
Ah,
do you have an alternative throne that you could visit?
alternative is there is an alternative throne, but I don't like to visit that, so I'd rather not go and sit on the throne. I'll just wait till I come home.
And the problem is that when you're turtling like that and you sort of sit on it and compress it, I don't know what the scientific process is, but I believe from anecdotal evidence that it actually goes back in. And I believe that not only it goes back in, hang on, let me just put my glasses on for this bit, but I think that it probably travels halfway up your body and actually like really, really goes far in to the extent where I bet you now, if you were to sit down and try and let it out, nothing would happen.
Yeah, it will be pretty hard for it to come out.
Exactly, yeah. So my sympathies are with you, my good friend.
So yeah, it's going to be a rough night tonight. Any plans for the weekend? Because I have some plans.
I was, you know what I was gonna say? This is the saddest thing. Prepare to weep for me. I was
Go on
gonna
then.
say, yeah, I record a YouTube show with my friend, and then I remember that we changed it from Sunday to Thursday, so I haven't even got that.
Never mind.
I have
So
nothing.
I, on the other hand, have entered a competition in a
Right.
dystopian world where I will be in a game of survival, and I have to do all of this wearing a very tight yellow leotard, like jumpsuit type sort of thing. So you'll be happy to know that my muscles will be bulging and other things will be bulging, which in turn will make me speak like an ex-Austrian bodybuilder who later on became the mayor of Los Angeles. So that's what I'll be doing this week. And
What on earth are you chatting about?